Hi guys. Today we're going to be looking at the new program structure for next week. So most of you now are pretty familiar with the layout of the program cards. I just want to sort of run through it all before you sort of get to next week and we get started. So as you can see, there's a cardio element, there's a resistance element, and there's two different programs. So there's program A and program B for cardio and for resistance. What we're doing is supersets. So we're doing A1, A2 paired together, and you'll be working as partners, alternating between A and B. We'll do 2 to 3 sets, and the same obviously with B and C. So as you can see on the program card there, it tells you what exercises you'll be doing. So A is single rope slams. Obviously, we'll go technique wise through all of these exercises next week during the sessions, but just so that you know roughly what we're going to be working on. So we've got all of these are cardio exercises. So we've got single rope slams partnered with kettlebell pop squats, the box jumps partnered with slam ball, and bench hops partnered with lateral strides. As you can see, it's all 2 to 3 sets with each. The techniques there just mentioned for each exercise, so have a quick look through them to make sure that you're sort of doing the right sort of thing. Obviously, again, we'll cover all that in the demos. Tempo wise for cardio, it's really just high tempo with everything. Obviously, technique wise is the most important thing. So in that first couple of sessions, we'll be slowing things down, getting the technique right, but then generally the tempo needs to be pretty high so that we're getting the heart rate elevated with each exercise. So all of those exercises should allow us to get a much higher tempo. The resistance is going to be much lower, and the speed of movement much higher. And then we have 10 seconds rest in between each set. At the bottom here of the program card, you can see that's where you're recording all of your data down. So we've got week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and then this relates to sort of like the rest periods for set 1. That's set 2, set 3 of week 1. Now, some of you mentioned last time that there isn't enough space there to record down the each session. That's because we're not necessarily going to improve each session. We're looking to improve on a weekly basis. So you'll record your scores down for that week, and then the following week you'll try and beat those scores. Okay, so you're recording here the amount of reps and resistance that you used for the set 1, set 2, and set 3. Okay, where it says rest as well, you'll record down how many rest intervals. So for example, you might have had to stop twice for 10 seconds, so you'd put 10/10, or you might have stopped 3 times for 5 seconds with each little stoppage, so you'd put 5/5/5. So that again, we've got as much information on here recorded as possible. And as I say, with your reps, we want to know if you did a set of 10, then rested, a set of 5, then rested, a set of 5 again. So you put 10/5/5 within each set, so we know exactly how you broke it down. And then what I want you to do is each session before it starts is have a look at your program card and work out how you're going to try and improve on last week's targets and how you're going to build on that. So rather than get into the session and then having to look and study your program card during the workout, ideally spend a few minutes beforehand working out how you're going to beat what you did last week. Okay, so that is program cardio plan A. So we'll have a look at the next one. So this is now group resistance plan A. So again, a very similar format. So again, it's superset. So you'll have A1, A2. So two of you'll be working on split squats, switching between right leg and left leg. Two of you'll be working on single arm rows, right side and left side, and then two of you'll be working on the cable wood chop and the leg extension. Again, it's 2 to 3 sets. It's 60 seconds work, so we're aiming for around 8 to 12 reps. The important part with the resistance and the reps within this portion of the plan, same on resistance B, is that we're trying to fatigue and max out, challenge our muscles within that 8 to 12 reps. So what we're going to try and do in week one is find a resistance load where you're maxing out at 12 reps. Okay, so by the time we get to that 12th rep, you should feel like you couldn't do any more. If you feel like you could keep going when you get to 12 reps, you need to increase the weight load so that we're maxing out at 12 reps with good form. Obviously, our technique is obviously key, but if we're getting to 12 and beyond, then we need to increase our resistance. So we're finding out what we're fatiguing at 12 reps. And then what we'll do is on a week by week basis. So in week 2, we'll increase the resistance and our reps will come down slightly. Then in week 3, we'll increase our resistance again a little bit more. We might find our reps are dropping down now closer towards the 8 mark rather than being up at the 12. Then in week 3 or 4, we'll have like a dip off and we'll reduce the resistance slightly, and then to allow our body to recover. And then in weeks 4 or 5, we'll increase the resistance back up and try and push much heavier than what we've been doing previously. As I say, I'll guide you through all that though on a week by week basis, but that's why it's so important in week 1 that we find out what weight we can use for 12 reps. Now, although we're doing 8 to 12 reps, 60 seconds, the tempo, so it's 5 seconds per rep, and that's important that we keep to that tempo. So it's all very well you saying you can do more than 12 reps, but can you do it at the right tempo? So as you can see, the tempo here is 5 seconds with each exercise, with each rep. And as you can see, the D tells us that that's 3 seconds on the way down, and then there's a 1 second hold, and then 2 seconds on the way up, and then 0 rest at the top. In actual fact, that should be 0 there instead of 1. So it's 2 seconds down, 3 seconds down, 2 seconds up, 0 rest at the top or the bottom of the movement. Then we've got the single arm row again, that should be a 0 there instead of 1. So it's 2 seconds as you pull the load up into the body, 0 hold, 3 seconds as the arm straightens out on the way back down. Okay, and then we've got the cable wood chop. Again, it's 1 second as you pull the load across the body, 1 second hold, and then 3 seconds as you return the weight back to the other side. So the resistance is key, but we've also got to make sure that we're hitting the right tempos as well with each exercise. And then down here at the bottom of the program card, you can record the information. So you can see there you've got week 1, set 1, set 2, set 3, and then that's your resistance for set 1, set 2, and set 3. So for example, I might put in set 1, I managed 10 reps, and that was using a load of let's say 8 kilos. Okay, now what you might find is as we go through the weeks and we start to increase the resistance, you might find that you're having to use 2 different weights. You might find that if you go up to say 10 kilo from 6, then we might need to alter that slightly. So if possible, we will increase the resistance, as I say, week by week, but you might be recording down here that you did, let's say, 10 kilo, and then you had to bring it for let's say 5 reps, and then you had to bring it down to 8 kilo for the remaining couple of reps. So hopefully that's all making sense. So that's resistance plan A. And then as you can see here, we've got the resistance plan B. So again, we've got single leg deadlift on the right side, single leg deadlift on the left side. Then we've got clean and press left side, clean and press right side, TRX jackknife and TRX plank, and then the resisted squat hold. So A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. Exactly the same style as resistance plan A in terms of the sets, the reps, the tempos. So we'll cover all that, and then it's all recorded in exactly the same format. And then finally, our last one is cardio plan B. Again, exactly the same as cardio plan A in terms of how it's set up, just different exercises. So kettlebell swing partnered with a squat thrust, push press partnered with skaters, and burpees partnered with the sandbag, bend and upright row. There's some technique pointers here. And again, it's getting used to recording the data down on the bottom of the program card so that we've got something then that we can build on a weekly basis. If you've got any questions, you need to check anything with me before the next session, obviously feel free to email me and I'll get back to you. Okay, thanks a lot.